Hi, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. So come and join me. Say hello. It is a rainy day here and I love it in Sedona. Come say hello to me. How is everyone today? Well, we're going to be talking about Saturn entering Aquarius at the end of the month. But right now, just a little reminder in case you're new to me and you don't know that I say, or maybe you do know, that the planets in astrology don't make you do anything, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, I didn't put it on today, but astrology just tells you what time it is. This is my astrological watch. Isn't it cool? Yeah, so you're in control of your life to a degree that you are conscious. Now, very briefly, I'm just going to, my friends and some clients were asking me about the coronavirus, and I just want to point out that to the degree that you have a fear, it lowers your frequency to match the frequency of the thing you're afraid of. And then you become more susceptible to it. Does that make sense? So be smart, wash your hands, take a lot of liposomal vitamin C. Liposomal is centrifuged with water so that it does not upset your stomach. And it's easier going down. And there's elderberry, there's oregano oil, all things that you can do and take. And oregano oil is very potent, so do be careful. I put a drop in water and or tea or a combination of my vitamin powders and sip it slowly. It can burn your lips if you get it on your lips. So, but one drop is okay. Or you can also mix it with a carrier oil like jojoba or coconut oil or castor oil and rub it into your feet or into your skin, into your armpits and your lymph nodes, so that you're absorbing the protection. And I also eat garlic raw. So yeah, just be smart. That's all. And you'll be okay. So we don't want the pandemic to become what it sounds like, and people running through the streets. It's just, let's be smart. Raise your consciousness. Raise your level of awareness. Raise your frequency. And also, this thing, shut it off at night. Turn off your Wi-Fi. And for goodness sakes, research 5G. 5G is toxic. So now you're getting all these deals to go to high 5G. In my area, 3G works fine. And the thing is, the higher the frequency of 5G, and you can research this, it is not healthy for your body, mind, or spirit at all. It interferes with the cell's communication. 5G is toxic. So don't be fooled. And that lowers your vibe, your frequency, and your immunity. So just be aware of what's happening. Now, talking about Saturn entering into Aquarius, Saturn is in Capricorn now, and Saturn usually lasts about 2.5 years in a sign because then it retrogrades back in a constellation and then moves forward again. So the thing about Saturn is, and remember, it's not doing it to you. It represents the part of the world or part of you that is wise, has wisdom, seeking authority, is an authority figure. Or in the world, it also represents karma and denial. So if you're not, and limitations and restrictions. So if you're feeling like you have to bear the brunt, bear the burden, that's a Saturn vibe. That's what it represents. The planet's not doing anything to you. So when Saturn is in the sign of Capricorn, its natural placement, because Capricorn is guided, the sign Capricorn is guided by the planet Saturn. It feels restrictive, like in the old days they would call it a hair shirt or the whipping post. And so you feel you have to take the brunt, the burden, the responsibility of something. And you make a vow or a contract. Now, every single soul on this earth has done this. And some people are now breaking those vows or those contracts that no longer support themselves or the community or the system to which they first adhered to the contract. So if you made a vow to help someone, but then it becomes at the sake of yourself, how is that helping? Because if you see us all as a collective, a communal energy, if you're harming yourself, you're harming the entire collective. Okay, folks? So let's think in terms of frequency. And frequency is what Aquarius is all about. And when Saturn enters into the sign and the constellation Aquarius on March 21st through July 2nd, 2020, it's going to give us a preview of what your next transformation can be. Depends on where Saturn is in your world and in your house, in your natal chart. So come say hello to me. There's Shelby. Hi, Shelby. So I wasn't getting a lot of feedback. And what I did, speaking of technology with Aquarius, last time I did a Facebook Live, I used the wrong stream key in my application. And so it went to my other page. And I was looking for people and I couldn't find anybody. Then people I knew from my past showed up. Well, that's the end of the Mercury in retrograde, right? The past always returns. Okay, so when we're looking at Saturn's energy, it's like imagine stoic, industrial, pragmatic, workaholic, bowing to authority, never making waves or ripples, or with a more intense energy, being so overcome by things that the denial is so strong, there's addiction involved. Or unless you're the authority figure and nobody can break through the barrier of your stoicism. So the energy of Saturn on one end is subservient and in service. But when service becomes at the sake of yourself, that's denial. Does that make sense? Yay, caught me live. Strongly agree with the 5G toxicity. Yeah, 5G, research it. No. And Elon Musk is petitioning to put 400 satellites in space so that we can have 5G cover the entire planet. What's that going to do to the ley lines and the grid of the earth? I'm telling you, I am meditating more and more and putting energy back into the world, back into the world. See yourselves as conduits, not just of pure conscious love, but conduits of higher vibe frequencies. Higher vibe frequencies can mitigate the illnesses on this earth, but don't take it on. That's not your job to take it on, but you can supply extra support and light. You know, when Galadriel gives Frodo that little bottle of, what is it? It's the starlight, their most beloved star. Arendil, I can't remember the name. Anyway, it's like, and she says, for when all other lights go out, you are a light. You're a shining bright light in your environment. So be aware of Wi-Fi, EMF waves. I have this. My sister used it and gave it to me. It's an EMF wave detector. This one is Cambridge Labs, and it's a USB. Just plug it in, charge it up, and then turn it on, and it turns red the moment. And I already calculated this a couple of years ago, but not with this frequency. And I see wherever it turns red next to my computer, I don't get anywhere near it. And so I'm pretty good because I have filters and stickers, EMF stickers and waves on my phone. But let's talk more about... wait, I'm taking this off so you can see the sticker I have on my phone. I have it on Wi-Fi. I have it on my computer. My entire family has all of these things on all the technology. And you can see the sticker that I've put on, the EMF wave sticker, this gold thing. Got it on Amazon. And I'm muscle tested with it with my family. Okay, so let's talk more about Aquarius and what Aquarius represents. Because when Saturn moves into the sign of Aquarius, all the Capricorn, sun rising, and moon signs I know are going to be celebrating. And I'm one of them. Okay. But as my husband would tease me, he's like, well, if the planets aren't doing it to you, why are you going to celebrate? It's because I've been paying attention to making necessary changes. The Capricorn energy in me represents the part of me that works until my back is hurting or doesn't go to the bathroom so I can get that email done. And we all have it. You don't have to be a Capricorn sun, rising, or moon to have it, but it's more indicative of the Capricorn energy to be that way. And so when you are looking to, and you know what, I can't see you very well, so I'm going to put on my glasses. Oh, there you are. Hello. Service at the sake of the self equals denial. Just keep that in mind. So let me tune in. Hey, who's here? Christine. Deborah's here. Rhonda's here. Shelby's here. Come say hello to me. We're talking about Saturn entering the constellation of Aquarius on March 21st, 2020 through July 2nd. We're going to get a sneak preview of what it's like for a nun to get on a motorcycle. That's what I want you to imagine. It's like no holes barred. We're breaking the patterns. Okay? Aquarius represents the energy of higher technology, of space, astrology. And as I like to say, Aquarius, guided by Uranus, the planet Uranus, was the one who invented slavery and the bolt cutter. So, because it's always about the dichotomy, right? It's always about the extremes and what's the energy doing. So, in simple terms, if you're someone who knows that you're working at all hours and it's straining your body, it's putting a strain on the family or the relationship, then something needs to change. The strategies need to change. When Saturn, the very stoic energy that we are, that's what Saturn represents, and also the very fastidious worker bee that is looking to raise a structure, the architecture, the framework for the family, the self, the health, the wealth, the passion, the purpose in your life, moves into the constellation Aquarius. The energy that we're looking at is revolutionary. It's about freedom. It's about how can we take what we're doing here, the chisel, and turn it into a paintbrush and then turn it into a digital pen, right? So the evolution of an industry, and we're looking at the banking industry. What's the banking industry doing? Well, I took some notes because it's very fascinating. All the brick and mortar businesses, health, medicine, that's going to change. New technologies coming through to help solve problems. But with that also comes the need for greed and speed to make more money with, I don't want to say this is going to be indicative of all industries, but getting it faster, cheaper, better for them, but lesser quality product for you. That's on one end of the spectrum. And the other, but you have a voice. You can vote. You can write your senators, your congressmen. You can call the president of a company and say, you changed your formula. Now there's toxic chemicals in what you want me to eat or drink, and I'm not buying it. You can do that. So be aware of the technologies that are being produced with the thought of ease, like plastic. We're back to glass, 99%, or silicone bags because there's no toxic leach. So you want to think of these things because everything that's being created or designed for our convenience can also have drawbacks. You just want to be aware, not to judge it, but to be aware of it. So digital banking, currency, right? We went from, in our lifetime, unless you're 12 and watching this, or 20, in our lifetime, we went from a dial telephone, right, to a push-button telephone, to a digital telephone. it's mind-blowing, right? The technology that's advancing. It's pretty darn cool. So what you want to do also is look at how can you, as things are upgraded, how can you protect yourself? There's one thing that's happening in the banking industry that it's a communal conversation with different top industries of major appliances, of insurance companies, where it's the higher, and we're going to see the sneak peek, right? Between March 21st and July 2nd. And then we move retrograde back into Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn until December 16th, 2020. December 16th, 2020 through March 7th, 2023. Yes, 2023, Saturn will be in Aquarius. That's when we'll see the bulk of what we're talking about now. But we're going to have a sneak preview. We're pulling back the curtain. We're going to go, oh, wow. Like I posted on, I don't know which page I posted last week, about a young woman, physicist, and good for her, African-American woman, yay, who was able to use nanoparticle technology to literally eradicate cancerous tumors in mice in 15 days. Start to finish. No chemo, no radiation, nothing toxic. Boom. So now the human trials are beginning. You see, this is what I'm talking about. So back to the digital currency, more platforms are going to rise up to accommodate this growing technological surge. So what are we going to do with that? Well, Saturn is about structure and commodity and ambition, but also about authority. So you never want to give away your authority, especially when you're doing online banking. And you want to make sure you get those digital receipts and you print them out so you have a hard copy. Because if suddenly the system were to go down, there's no proof. Bitcoin is like that. Bitcoin, you can be transferring hundreds of dollars, $10 in Bitcoin. If your system has a glitch and you suddenly lose power, and there's no transactional record, that's it. Your money's done. It's in the ethers. It was just a dream. So you want to be careful of stuff like that. Christine says, I have selenite next to my heart. Selenite heart next to my iPad. Excellent. Get selenite. It helps to clear and clean energy. Great suggestion. Thank you. So what's happening also in the banking industry is what they're doing, and we're going to see more of this as I'm talking about. There's going to be, and I'm looking at my notes because I was typing furiously, and I have typos, and I don't want to misquote. Not only the new platforms to hold all this new technology that's coming, but there's going to be I don't even know what they call it yet, but these platforms are going to be aggregated, okay, across platforms, so that the banking industry, insurance industry, you go to Sears to buy a new washer dryer. All they have to do is type in a couple of things, and they have access to everything, all your information, to see whether or not you are eligible for that appliance, for that insurance, for that new car or car insurance. You see, so, and that, how convenient, one push of a button and it's all done. But at the same time, think of movies you've seen, sci-fi movies of futuristic things where there's, you're talking to a hologram, and how do you, or what was it? The movie, we just watched it like 47 times this past year with, oh my gosh, with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, and they're in space, and there's a glitch. Ugh. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So this is where we're headed in life. And we may not live to see all of it, but we're going to live to see a big chunk of it, because we're in the age of Aquarius now. So as we look at the loopholes, the restrictions, what else is happening? Fraud, right? The mortgage companies real estate, brick and mortar buildings. They're going to be under scrutiny, but then they're going to have to transfer information, digital information now. That's like when we went from Dewey Decimal System to now I can order a book online, put it on hold, and have it delivered to my local library from anywhere in Arizona. That's convenience. I love that. But at the same time, I want to have a record. I want to have a piece of paper that shows what it is. Okay? Now, on the flip side, when we look at the space side of things, and let me check in here. Hey, Nikki and Renee. Hello, beautiful. Hello. When we're looking at the space side of things, there's a lot of exciting things happening. Oh, and before I get to that, I don't know why I did this morning. I don't question these things. But I was thinking about Saturn, and I was thinking about restrictions and limitations. And I immediately went to books that have been banned. That's where I went this morning. I was just guided to go there. Now, some of these were shockers for me. Some not so much. E.B. White, you remember Charlotte's Web? I think it's such a beautiful book. I think it's a wonderful way to introduce the theme of death to a child. It was banned in Kansas in 2006. Why? Because, quote, they deemed it unnatural and blasphemous for animals to be talking like humans. Yeah. In 1989, in a California school, to be unnamed, Dr. Seuss's book, The Lorax, was banned because it was believed to portray the logging industry in a very negative way. And they didn't want children being raised protesting against forest regulations. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the authority can go a little bit too far, right? Yeah. In 1957, okay, let me just sing the song and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Okay, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz was banned in the Detroit library system in 1957 to today. Because for having, quote, no value for children of his day and for supporting negativism and for bringing children's minds to a cowardly level. Let's reverse these things. What's Fahrenheit 451 or 457? I read that in high school. What, now book burning? Is that what we're going to do next? Yeah, is it? Dan Rehill, a pastor, and I'll say his name again, Pastor Dan Rehill, at the Roman Catholic Parish School in St. Edwards in Nashville, Tennessee, banned the books, all the Harry Potter books, because, quote, the curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which when read by a human being risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person. Yeah. I had to go there. This is my way of bucking authority and saying, excuse me? I don't know about that. How about some other things? Maybe we could put our attention on the power inside the magical essence of a child. And then to talk to them consciously about, well, you know, there are energies in the world. There are people with certain energies that they're not happy, they're not healthy, and we need to be conscious and set a boundary. And let's have conscious conversations with our kids instead of banning books because you think my child is going to conjure an evil spirit and be possessed by the devil. All right. That's my rant. Okay, in the meantime, I pulled some dice, some astro dice for the group, and I'm not surprised that this came out. So when I focused on how to handle and what to be aware of for this sneak preview of Saturn in Aquarius, March 21st, 2020 through July 2nd, what to be aware of. where to go, where to focus. And my guides and angels, who are not evil conjured spirits, said, first of all, what's the issue is Uranus. And Uranus is Aquarius energy. It's all about revolutionary freedom. What you find right now, the Uranus is in the constellation Taurus. So we're looking for practical value solutions. We're breaking apart the old. I don't want to work for $8 an hour and work my tail off. I don't want to do that at a job I hate. I don't want to do that. So we're looking to break free. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm not able to be free, speak my mind, do what I want in a healthy, conscious, loving way. I don't want to eat foods or drink liquids that contain toxic chemicals produced by companies for the dollar. I'm not spraying Monsanto crap on my weeds. I actually use Weed Zap, cinnamon and clove oil. I put it right on the weed, and it within 3 days kills the root. Done. And I'm not harming my environment. You can also use limonene. It's the oil from orange peels. It does the same thing. So let's be conscious about our choices. Let me just check in. I'm on a rant today. Can you tell? Thank you for that rant. Well, you're welcome. Let me turn the page. I have more. Okay. So when I asked my guides, spirits, and angels, what's happening in this particular Saturn in Aquarius transition phase that we will see the end of March through early July? What are we looking at? We are looking at moving energy in our minds and in our bodies that no longer represent the old guard, the old regime, the old way, the old vows. You know, you got to get a job, work 9 to 5, get car insurance, you got to pay your bills, you got to pay your taxes, you got to vote, you got to be partisan, you got to be... Hey, you know what? No. No. I choose to be who I came to be on this planet. I'm going to do it in a conscious, healthy, and kind, loving way. But I'm going to do it my way. She did it her way. So when I roll the dice, the astro dice, what's the topic is the planetary sign. I'm sorry, the celestial muse, the planet, right? Uranus. All about transition, all about freedom, all about technology and space and astrology. And that's what's happening. Here's how it feels. And that is Scorpio. So how does it feel? It feels deep and profound. It feels like people have aches and pains they haven't had before, emotional feelings that are too deep, dark, and wide to deal with all in one day. It's profound. It's transformational at its core. So what's happening is the planet. How it feels is Scorpio. And sometimes you might just have to go in and get quiet and just be on your own and transmute the energy. Transformation is I give you something to do, you try it, you see if it works, you transform a little bit changes. Transmutation is when you literally become your next biological self. So many people in my industry getting sick, overcoming illnesses, taking on the conscious revolution of, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to placate this toxic person. I don't need to have these people in my environment so that I can then raise my level of vibe. And you're doing the same. So what's happening? Oops. What's happening? How it feels. Scorpio. Deep, profound changes. And once they're done, they're done. Scorpio is like, yeah, when I'm done, I'm done. Cut it. Gone. Moving on. My dog is scratching on the door. And where it takes place, fourth house. The fourth house is your identity. Your identity, your home, your family. Yes, your four walls, your real estate. but it's also your identity on a deep and profound level. It's you. It's the self transforming. Isn't that powerful? I think it's awesome. Okay. How are we feeling? How are we doing? So let's look at this time, March 21st through July 2nd, as a time. And in that time, there's also going to be a Venus retrograde and a Mercury in retrograde. So we're going to even go deeper and further into our issues with our own feminine awareness, with our own thoughts and perception, with our own judgments and biases, with the need to move that energy and be a little bit more conscious on a daily basis, so that we can create the world that we want to live in, create the environment, have the house you want, the car you want. Yeah, have all the material stuff, but deep down, it starts on the inside. Body, mind, spirit, connect. If you've got that in place, then you're going to start to literally manifest the vibe outside of you. But there's a lot of energy in this world right now spinning around, especially with technology, because it change and what we eat, how we ingest, what we think, what we do before bed. Shut off the TV, the phone, at least 90 minutes before bed. Read, not on a digital platform. Shut off the Wi-Fi, the EMF waves. Get centered, do a 2, 3, 4, 5 minute meditation on gratitude. Because when you focus on that, you're the constant stream of energy. If the power grids all failed right now, okay, so you use candles, right? But the inner light is still going to be shining. What's the focus going to be? Once a long time ago, maybe, I don't know, our kid was maybe about 8 or 9. We had a huge lightning storm and all the power went out for the entire night. We lit candles. We played games on the floor. We told stories. I mean, it harkens back to those old days. You know, some people say, "Oh, I miss the good old days." Well, I don't miss not having electricity. I want electricity. I want the modern conveniences, but I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to become so complacent that these modern conveniences now dictate my life and my moods. Because if I have a temper tantrum because my phone's not working, I'm like, great. I'm so happy because now I can take a break. Oh, wait, why do I need something to fail in the world so I can have time to myself? No. The thinking is backwards. Let's turn it around. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oh, I'm also going to read the card that I pulled from The Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrine Welts-Stein. I just loved the artwork. It's so pretty. It's so restful and beautiful. And the card I pulled for you guys today regarding this energy of Saturn in Aquarius, March 21st through July 2nd, and then again, December 16th, 2020 through March 7th, 2023, Aquarius sun rising and moon, Saturn in Aquarius, are going to feel it the most. And that transformation is profound. And it can happen a little at a time, but here's your sneak preview. But when I pulled a card focused on what else, aside from the astro dice, what else can we do? Where else can we go? And when I ask my angels, non-religious beings, high vibe energy, and starseed, and Arcturian and Andromedan, to be more specific, because those are my tribe, and Pegasus. But also, I ask past on loved ones. And so a lot of times I will see numbers, so pay attention to numbers. If the certain number keeps coming up, or you dream about certain numbers, when I see 217, I think of my parents, because we used to live there. So when I see 217 show up anywhere on a receipt or on the clock, I suddenly turn my head and it's 217. I go, yeah, hi Dad, hi Mom. How's it floating around out there? I pay attention. I want you to do the same. Consistent numbers, so that help you to tune in to what they can mean. So 46, Night Ride, that's what I pulled for this group today, across time, dimension, all planes of existence, and karmic experience. being in the moment right now, here, right now, in the present moment. It's called Protector, Wonder in the Night, Big Brother, and Friendship. Here's the picture. It's an elephant. It's like one of my favorite creatures with 2 owls. And isn't that beautiful? Rider in the night. Night ride. And one owl is protecting another. And the elephant's on the journey. So what it says is an elephant transports 2 owls on his back, a mother and with her young child bird. Oops. There. Can you see that? Okay. Protectively, she has folded her wing over the young owl's head. The elephant rides through the night, blowing stars up into the sky through his trunk. Connected with magic and wonder, the elephant is a protector, a strong shoulder to lean on in all times, even during dark times when you can feel safe and secure beside him. So, a protector. I want you to call on your protectors, your guides, your angels, your higher self, your spirit, your divine monadic structure, your passed on loved ones. I want you to call on protection in an energy fashion. And you can use your Harry Potter wand if you want to. And to up the vibe that I am now protected by divine light, by pure conscious love, as I make my changes, as I take time to rest, as I come up with a new strategy for business, as I fill in the blank. So that you are protected along the way, that you are using white light, which has nothing to do with ethnicity, a bright sparkle of light that emanates from within because you're connected to it from without. Does that make sense? So let's use that as we are looking toward the stars, but looking inward at the same time. You know what else space is doing? NASA is going to be retiring the Hubble in 2021. And they have recently used their other space telescope to search out other planets and other systems. And what they found was, they call it, well, TESS is the, I forget what it's the acronym for, but it's the telescope that found what they're calling TO1 700b. Yeah, that's what I'd name a planet if I found one. Let me give it a bunch of letters and numbers. Yeah, the WXYZ 7000 on your radio dial. Anyway, it's in the dolphin fish. It's the dolphin fish constellation in the southern hemisphere. We only see it, only anyone can ever see it, is between November and January. So it's not a consistent constellation for us, but they found this planet, and it's about Earth size, and they're checking it out. And in 2021, they're going to send out the new telescope after they retire. I don't know what they called it. Did I write that down? New planetary discoveries. NASA is all ready to launch the new space telescope in 2021 to replace Hubble. I did not write down the name of the new one, but they're going to be checking it out. And so the discovery of space and what's happening out there is going to be just as paramount to our industries down here. An illness right now, in the headline in the news, is affecting markets, right? What's being sold more of, where people are afraid to fly or take vacations. So industries are changing because of an illness that I believe was manufactured and constructed as a bioweapon. So and then leaked out, whoops, and then the animals got sick, and then the people got sick, and then here we are now. So, but you can combat these things. Even though it's 10 times stronger than the flu, what can you do? You can, up top, I said, take liposomal vitamin C, oregano oil, elderberry, garlic, and start to lift and raise your level of vibe for anything. Because remember, your vibration affects everything in your world. So to the degree that you fear something out there, it will then eventually match the frequency of the thing you fear, and then you become more susceptible to it. So be smart about your choices. Be smart. That's all. right? So, wow, I was on a rant today. Less mystical, more gotta get it done, or gotta get a gun, gotta get a gunned. Gunned, not gun, gunned the Bears. That was their song. And it always made me wonder, why would you have those lyrics when a little child who doesn't really know what they're saying can say, gotta get a gun, gotta get it. No. Poor marketing. What was the marketing meeting there? Yeah. Some old white Republican was talking in a meeting about, yeah, let's sell our teddy bears and let's make up a song. Okay. Didn't mean to offend anyone, have I? I hope not. No, really, I hope not. So I'm going to be back talking about more of what's happening, especially the Venus in retrograde, because as that merges, and remember, you don't have to understand astrology to understand that you have power, that your ability to think yourself into or out of something is profound. You're a magical creature. Use it, use it, use it, or lose it. And when you lose power to something else like Bitcoin, the banking industry, the mortgage industry, the health industry, be aware, just ask questions. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to hear, there's going to be more upheaval starting March 21st through July 2nd, when people are starting to question, wait a minute, why do I have to pay those extra taxes? So without getting arrogant or so upset that you crash and burn, it's becoming aware in a non-judgmental way. So you take back your authority, power, status, and then you can make some healthy changes in your life. That's what we're talking about. Always with kindness, compassion, and the present moment. I wish you peace. I'll be back again on, I don't even know. Monday is my usual day. And let me just double check the calendar. Monday. Yes, I'll be back on Monday, the 16th. Please join me. I'll see you then. Have a beautiful weekend. Let me just check in. Okay, everybody. Be well. Be happy. Be sparkly. I'll see you soon.